Hey folks, I hope you're doing well. I want to talk to you a little bit about strumming, because I think rhythm is such a key thing. If you get the rhythm right, you're going to be doing okay. There's some fundamental things you need to know, and I think this is the best approach that I'm aware of the way to get your head around it, if you like. This is the mindset. So first of all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you think that's your bedrock, that's you counting time, yeah. So you're always going to have that in your mind. If you're doing a song, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. You know, you're always going to be counting time, and I'll probably do a course about timing and rhythm and dynamics and stuff like that as a separate one from this, because we can go quite deep into that, and I'm going to try and keep this relatively simple. I just want to give you the right start to it, okay? So there's your bottom layer, is 1, 2, 3, 4. On top of that, we have 1 and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's almost like we're cutting it in. Instead of having 4, we've now got 8. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, we have our down up, which is down and down and up and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Don't get too hung up on this, but I want you to rewind this until you get it, okay? So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we play chukka, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There's different ways of looking at it. Let's do this example. Horse with no name. Chukka, 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 chukka. It's quite straightforward, isn't it? There isn't that much going on. However, if I want to put a bit of stuff in there, chukka, 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 I might go a little bit loud and quiet. And this is where people start to freak out. How do I know what to do? So many things I could be doing. Okay, now let's look at ooh la la. Now, boom chaka boom chaka boom chaka boom cha 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 boom chaka boom chaka cha 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 cha. Now, if you have that as an instruction, down up down up down up down up down down to down 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 up down up down up up down down, it's just gonna mess your head up. You know it's going up and down. Everything else is kind of just much easier if you think of it as or boom chaka boom cha 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 cha. It's much easier if you think in terms of chaka 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 or boom chaka. Now, imagine if you're a percussionist, maybe you're a Congo player. He's going to go boom, 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 cha cha, boom, boom, cha cha. He's going to think musically in his head some kind of rhythm, and then he's going to try and play that rhythm with his hands. That's what you're going to do. And when you start looking at it like that way, although at first you might go, I'm a bit lost, Dave, I don't really know what you mean. When you start going boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka, cha, 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 boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, cha, 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 boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, chaka, boom, cha, cha, cha. You can just add those little things on. So you just very slowly start to add to it. So you might have chaka, 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 cha, 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 chaka, 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 cha, cha, cha. And there's a little bit of loud and quiet going on, and there's a little bit of extra beats going on and stuff. But what I don't want you to do is think down, up, down, up, down, up, and what am I supposed to do for every single stroke? What I want you to do is think of chaka, 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 as almost like it's a metronome. Ticka, toka, ticka, toka, ticka, toka, tick, 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 tick. Your metronome can't do that, but you can. You've already got it in you. So just listen to drummers, listen to percussion, and listen to your instinct. What you'll sometimes find is you're trying to do something that I'm showing you, and you'll be finding that you're putting extra bits in there. Excellent. Do that. Go with it. Play with it. I'm just trying to give you an approach, and the approach is to think musically. There's hundreds of videos on YouTube and stuff, and nowadays on Ultimate Guitar as well, going, you've got to go down, up, 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 down, break, crotchet, you know, minim, quavers, all this sort of stuff. Rhythm gets very, very mathematical when you look at the theory and when you're trying to break it all down. And what I want you to do is go with a completely instinctive feel. And I'm not trying to knock any other way of doing it. I'm just trying to say, I think this is a more instinctive, more organic, more natural, more creative way for you to play rhythm guitar. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you, because I've just found once I learned it, I didn't have to learn anything else. Hey, this is a really good foundation to just be able to think, how do I play that? If you can think it, and it travels its way down to your hands with a bit of practice, if you can think it, then you can play it. And it's much more, in some ways, perhaps of a singer's approach, because if I've got to think up a melody for some chords, I've got to think it up. There is no theory. I've got to think it up. I've got to create it. It's really all about creativity, and that's really the whole point I wanted to make. So take a bit of time. Take a little bit of time. The key things that you need to do are learn to change your chords, and that's just muscle memory. Back and forward, C and G and C and G and C and G. And then G and A minor, G and A minor, G and A minor. It's just time. That just takes time. But the rhythm takes imagination, and it takes creativity. It doesn't have to be ridiculous though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chugga, 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 chugga. And then if you think, oh, it's sounding a bit boring, and this is what you're going to find as you start to get moving, it's sounding a bit boring, well then bring something into it. Now, what a drummer will do is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and at the end of the let's say the end of the section, because it's usually before you go into the chorus, or sometimes if it's the end of 4 bars, it might be just before the next 4 bars. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and then, you know what I mean? There's that little gap before we move on, because music is always in sections. So you will have grown up hearing that stuff. So whether you know it or not, it's all in here and it's in here. You've just got to go and tap into that. And don't be afraid of this. This is just a toy. It's a very percussive toy. You know, yeah, there's a lot of percussion going on here. So don't be afraid of it. Just play around with it. And I'll show you a few more things as we go along, but I really want you just to adopt that mindset, because that's really going to see you in good order. Okay, so again, I hope I haven't given you too much. I hope that it all makes sense to you. Give me some feedback. The more feedback you give me, the more I can tweak these things and make sure that everything does make sense for you, hopefully. And if it doesn't straight away, hopefully it will do once you've had a chance to maybe watch it again or think it through or try it out. You know, practice it, try it out. Okay? Yeah, I think I better leave it there. Take care.